have our guest on the line to join our conversation this morning, an ace journalist and, of course, a media representative himself, Paul Nta. And let's look into some critical state, state conversations.
Okay, let's go to Paulinus. Good morning, Paulinus. Welcome to Rise and Shine.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Happy New Year. How are you doing today?
It's a great one. That's quite a long time I've not been able to see you guys physically. It's a nice day and it's going to be a beautiful year. Thanks to everybody there.
We believe. I hope we'll see you soon.
Yeah, really.
All right, we look forward.
I'll come around.
All right. That's a date with the rest of us in Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Paulinus, let's start with Akwa Ibom State. In recent time, the government or the administration of Pastor Umoino has been taking some steps that gets him criticized and also gets him commendation. One of that step is incorporating or bringing into the affairs of the state people who are not of Akwa Ibom origin but are resident in the state. The government has extended hands of fellowship, the issue of grant, the issue of projects, every other thing, to the point of having an SSA representing the non-indigens in the government of Akwa Ibom State. Now we see Governor Alex Oti of Abia State making a comment that his government is going to follow suit in that direction. So my first question to you is, seeing this in Akwa Ibom State and now in Abia State joining, we're neighboring state. What's your first reaction to this kind of direction in politics?
Well, I would say it's a revolutionary movement. It's an opening to a new chapter of our political history. I think if we had a broader spectrum to that development, we would encourage peaceful coexistence, unity, solidarity, and of course, crime rate will reduce in a way. So in that direction, I have given my governor 80%. They have done so much. Not only the non-indigenous, even those who are not necessarily in the political party. I understand, and of course I witnessed that he made some provisions to dialogue, face-to-face dialogue, with some physical romance, I would say material romance, to those who did not actually belong to a political party. And by extension, to those who did not go into the party. So I think Governor has done well in that direction. Let's give it to him.
Okay, so going back to Alex Oti, following in that direction, he has stated that going forward, Abia State government will also prioritize the welfare of non-indigents who are residing and doing business in Abia State, and they'll also be taken into consideration as the state begins, in all of the policies, direction that the state will take. What do you think that would mean for Abia?
That would cause a lot of criminal tendency. That would create a sense of belonging. Of course, that would expand the frontiers of national integration. If you go back to history, you will realize that nobody comes from anywhere. We all migrated to wherever we are to be. If you look at the history of the Akwa Ibom people, you must have created in some way before we get where we are today. So I don't think it is always very. It's not the best to draw boundaries unnecessarily. So if it goes that way, not only Abia, if Abia implements that, you realize in the next 1 or 2 years, another thing will do that. And if in a couple of years, that place along Nigeria is going to spend a lot of, success in our war against tribalism and, separatism. So it will solve a lot of problems, not only tribalism, it will solve the problem of crime, because most of these times are not contained by indigenous. Crime is a natural tendency of man. So when you live in a place where you don't feel a part of it, you are not a part of that system, you are not from there. They segregate you in the commerce, in business, in agriculture, in government, or whatever. You will feel dejected, you will feel forsaken. So I think it will go a long way in curbing crime, integration of Nigerians, and of course, peace and security. That's a beautiful political thought for the contemporary Nigeria.
So now, another concern that I will have with this kind of, largely laudable move by either the Kwabum State governor or that of Abia State is the fact that let's look at the reality of how things are in Nigeria. This ethnic bigotry that we have that always sets into every play, whether it's politics, whether it's business. Eventually, aren't there concerns that when these state governors give ample room to non-indigens, whether in terms of grants or whatever benefits that they give, how do we curb and the concern of future rivalry amongst the people? Tomorrow you hear that this land space was given to XYZ, people from XYZ community, and it becomes a problem with the indigens or whatever systems. For instance, the Kwara State government says, oh, they will send 20 non-indigens from here for training in different places. Tomorrow, they suddenly remember that they're not Akwabomites and they can't give back to the state.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Collins, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, right?
Okay, so I'm asking, how do we handle the concern of some of the indigens in terms of future problems that may arise as a result of this, especially in view of how Nigeria works, ethnic bigotry and all of that?
Well, it's I don't anticipate anything being, something like a capital flight out of the state. It's not going to really go out completely from the state. If some grant is given to those who are not necessarily from here, and there's a particular business direction where they are going to invest this money into, I think it will still generate and contribute to the boost of our economy here. That non-indigenous will not just take that money and go back to the state immediately. It would involve, it would invest it into a business that would radiate and generate and circulate within the state. So I think, and of course, I know the government would not take the lion's share, which was supposed to be given to the indigenous and give to non-indigenous. The government in its wisdom would know what to give to non-indigenous. All of us, we are all Nigerians. Most of our people are living outside Nigeria. So many are in the north, so many in the west, so many in the east. So I don't think it should be a very serious issue. I don't think it should be an issue. I think it should be allowed in the wisdom of the governor who knows what to do. The governor will not say the councillor in Uyo local government should be a non-indigenous, or a chairman of Uyo should be a non-indigenous, or admission or employment into civil services or civil service should be given to non-indigenous. You will know where to. The size of the largesse that can be paid to non-indigenous. It's about integration. It's about love. It's about unity. It's about security. It's about friendship and brotherhood. That's my take. I don't think it will really affect our investments.
And I also do hope that Nigerians are ready for this level of integration that our state governors are bringing, because the initiative might be great on the part of these governors. Now, when you see two governors initiate this path, like Francis said earlier, we expect that more state governors get onto this bandwagon and see this integration. But for a minute, talk about Nigerians. How do you think that we are going to embrace and interpret this and make sure that the administrations that have initiated this don't get into any future problems?
Yeah, you see, the problem we have in Nigeria is that we have so many politicians, but a very few leaders. This is a question of the difference between a politician and a leader. A leader has the empathy. A leader has the understanding. A leader knows that we belong to a brotherhood of humanity. A leader does not necessarily think like, although some politicians are leaders, but not all politicians are leaders. So I think if a leader is elected as a governor, he would know exactly what to do. He would know that someone who is from Abia State, someone who is from Enugu State, someone who is, even those who are not from Nigeria, are their brothers. We have the same blood running in our veins. We have the same aspirations. We have the same social aspirations, economic aspirations, spiritual aspirations. So it's all about the capacity to bring about leaders, good leaders. There's nothing that's going to, we are not going to lose anything from that policy. We're not going to lose anything from that political development. It's a plus, it's kudos. It's an addition to our effort to foster national integration. I think the other government should embrace. It should become a national policy. I look at it in that direction. It's a dream that it should become a national policy, that there should be a ministry or a commission in every state that takes care of non-indigenous residing in that state. That's an opinion, a suggestion.
All right, let's look into some deeper conversation that this stirs up. The issue of paying tax to the state where you're residing in. I remember having a conversation with a friend who said one of the most messed up system is the tax system or the tax administration system in Nigeria. We have other countries of the world where once you leave, even when you leave the country, you cease paying tax in your country and you pay in that country and everything suffices. But in Nigeria, you're in Nigeria, you're paying tax. You leave Nigeria and go to another country, you pay in that country and you're also paying in your own country. Now, the conversation of people staying in the respective states but not being taxpayers within that state has been thrown up in the midst of this. And some Nigerians are saying, yes, we are not against state governors, the likes of Governor Alex Ati, the likes of Governor Pastor Omoino, being able to include the non-indigens who are in their state legitimately doing businesses and contributing in this conversation. But then, what is the parameter that the state governors are going to use? Because Alex Ati, for instance, is talking about persons who have lived in Abia State, who have businesses in Abia State and are paying the taxes. So the question now comes to, how will the government of the respective state and others who might join this bandwagon measure who is actually paying tax and thus be able to give back to people who are by themselves also investing in the community and the states that they find themselves?
Yeah, in my opinion, I think wherever anybody decides and do a business there, a lucrative business, you are supposed to contribute to the economic development of that area by paying your tax. And of course, I also believe in property tax. Those who earn more should pay more than those who earn less. In order to be a regulatory move, a regulatory mechanism to properly check those who are supposed to pay less and those who are supposed to pay higher based on acquisition of properties. So I think if there's something wrong about anybody residing in any other state and paying tax to that state, it's correct, it's in order. It's not out of place. In my opinion, though I don't know much about tax administration, but from a layman's position, I think it is not out of place.
Okay, so I asked a question that I want to take us back to, and that question is something that the Abians are arguing about. Hopefully, we'll get to speak with somebody from Abia. We saw that Governor Alex Ati swore in a non-indigen Benson Ojekere, a native of Edo State, as the new head of service for the state. And this has generated multiple reactions. One, from the fact that he's not from Abia State. And then the second is that this is too important a position to be given to a non-indigen. What's your take on that?
Well, because before it takes such a decision, I think he must have done some proper research and try to weigh the implications. For whatever decision you take, whatever public decision you take must have implications. So I think he knows why he's doing that. He must have consulted. I think he must have consulted. He will not do that without consultation, else there will be an uproar in such a place. So I don't want to go into that because I don't know the criterion. I don't know the criterion he used. I don't know the criterion he used in selecting that, in coming into that decision. So I think that is personal in a way. But what I'm saying is that there should be integration. There should be that sense of, unity across Nigeria by relating well, appointing those who are not necessarily from your state, assisting them if they are doing business in your place. And of course, too, they should also pay tax, contribute to the development, economic growth, and boost up where you are residing.
Okay. I just heard, like you have said, that the governors know exactly what they're doing and they know, what quarter to assign and what quarter to leave absolutely for indigenes of the state, because these are, what will I call it? These are grounds that you have to be careful on. What position are you able to assign to a non-indigene what kind of appointments are you able to give? If it's for grants, I understand we're all Nigerians. It's the collective taxpayers of taxpayers' money of Nigerians, so all of us can invest. But when it comes to anything that goes beyond those grants, when you're talking political appointments, critical allocation of appointments also, even in the civil service, everybody must be instructed accordingly until we have the orientation that we are all collectively Nigerians and not first of all Ibibio or Efik or Igbo. Then that conversation can then be different. Afterwards, we are seeing it happening in the United Kingdom. People come from all over the world, rise up to becoming the Prime Minister in the United Kingdom, and everybody's fine, at least to a very large extent. But let's move from this particular story because I feel he has laid down the most critical conversation. The governors must know what they're doing. We see an ultimatum flying in Akwa Ibom State by the NLC TUC with regards to the governor readily paying the minimum wage as agreed for January 2025. What is the hope in that area?
I think Governor Mo has written his name in bold. I want to commend him for making that bold statement. That statement is very, very good. Because of course I know, as someone who has the idea of the government and programs of the civil service, I understand that the report was not even given to him as when he made that announcement. That goes a long way to show that he is empathic, is sympathetic, is humane, he has the interest of the people at heart. The civil service is the engine room of government. Any government who is not serious with civil servant is civil service is a example. He's playing. He's deceiving the people himself. Without a civil service, the government cannot work. That is the engine room. That is the connecting rod of the government. And the implementation branch of the government. So I think the government has done so well. I have the confidence, belief in this. Because he will not say that, of course, he made that announcement during the Thanksgiving service of the NULGE. Everybody knows what NULGE is. Look at the information disseminated. You cannot go to tell journalists what they are not prepared to do. You understand? I have the confidence, believe he will do that. And once he does that, he will build unity, progress, and he will boost the spirit of productivity among the civil servants. There is spirit among civil servants that they might say government thing is not your father's thing. That's because we are not those who are in the government in the civil service are not treated well. They were not treated well. They were not that sense of pride. That's the dignity of labor was not there, was not in the civil service. You will hardly hear a civil servant stand up in the crowd and say, I am a civil servant. With pride. You will not do that. But because they will look at with disdain, with low payment, with no income and all that. So by this singular act, the pride of the civil service will be restored. The productivity will be boosted. So I give kudos to the government. That is the best thing we have done in the past many years of his administration.
Okay. Now, just before we let you go, with all of the things that is happening in Akwa Ibom State, we know that this month, local government allocation is beginning to come to the local government councils. And part of the things that have been advocated for is for media organizations, civil society organizations to engage with the grassroots in order to keep the local government chairmen on their toes in terms of performance. I'd like to pick your mind on how you think this is going to go in terms of development. We know you're one of the advocates for development at the grassroots. And of course, now that we have local government autonomy, what would you say would happen with engagement or without engagement? Because these are two different, faces of the coin.
To whom much is given, much is expected. By giving direct allocation to local government councils, they will have to be activation of the core mandate and objectives of the creation of the local government system. You see, most of the projects that were supposed to be implemented by the local government will be implemented now. state road and all of that. A lot of money will come in state to state. But one other fact is that the local government chairman should be held accountable. There should be that mechanism apart from journalistic monitoring. Because journalists will simply observe and write. Journalists has no constitutional power to enforce anything. You simply report what you see. Whether they take it or not, or they don't, they have nothing to do to expose. That is our power stop at exposing whatever we see, which is in the interest of the public. Now, the state government should set up a fresh mechanism, a monitoring mechanism to check, assess performance. And of course, the Freedom of Information Act of the 2011 should be reactivated, should be published. Everybody should know that it has the right to ask the chairman how much came into this local government this month. What is the size of the budget for education? What is the size of the budget for infrastructure? What general information about the local government has been. People should be sensitized to know that they have the right, because sometimes, most of those who are local government people don't know that the public has the right to know what they are doing there. Most of them think it is their right because they simply supported the government. They were appointed or elected or sponsored to be there by those they supported. So they see it as compensation for their contribution to the emergence of the state government or whatever. So they should know that the people have the right to know what they earn, to know how much comes into the local government area. So by so doing, I think it will be better than before. The grassroots development will be fast-tracked. There will be this, the pace of rural development will be faster than before. So I want to end by saying again that the whole much is given, much is expected.
All right, that's a lot of expectation. We do hope that these leaders interpret it as well as the governor envisages. All right, let's hope that on the NLC front that this does not spiral into any kind of industrial issue in the state. Everybody should give a leverage to let the NLC give a leverage to the state government and let the state government stick to its word as it had promised the workforce in Akwa Ibom State. Thank you very much, Mr. Paulinus for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thanks.
Great conversation. To whom much is given, much is expected.